Hey, it's Evie, welcome to my channel. Today's video, I'm going to crack straight on with this today. How do you deal, this was a request by Magical Journey, thank you for that, Magical Journey. Okay, that's a nice name. So, how do you deal with neediness, filling a void, feeling like you need to fill a void with that particular person, and a desperation for that person, and the total fear of a third party coming along? How do you deal with that? And yes, you can deal with that. First of all, let me tell you that needy energy, desperation, and all of that stuff is repellent, and it's repellent anyway. Even if you're not into this stuff, it's always a repellent energy, and you don't want that. So we need to deal with that. We need to get you out of that and get you on the road to feeling like some sort of normal, a bit more calm. And you can still want a person. There's nothing wrong with wanting, nothing wrong with wanting at all, but there is with needing. And the reason it's wrong is because it's wrong for you and for your well-being. And so you do need to deal with this. So first things first, what you need to do is get your energy to a place of, to elevate your energy, lift it, and get you to a vibration that is not needy and is not desperate and all of that. You can still want somebody. I'm not saying that you need to stop wanting them. There's nothing wrong with wanting somebody, and that energy is different than needy energy. Needy energy, as I said before, is repellent. They will not know that they're being repelled by your energy, but they will not want to be with you because of this energy that you're putting out. So how do you deal with that? The first thing that you do is you decide that you are going to be the priority. You are the most important person in this equation. You really are. And at the moment, you're making them the priority. And you're prioritizing somebody who isn't prioritizing you at the moment. You can make that happen, that can happen, but at the moment it's not happening because of your energy. And this empty void that you feel, you can't help that, it's there, but you need some self-discipline here. And all of this stuff works through self-discipline. And I've coached people that have managed to get over this. So you can get over it, believe me, but you have to decide that you're going to get over it, and you're going to do whatever it takes to get over it. So the first thing that you do is you decide that you are priority. You are number one here, and they need to meet your standards. You have standards. There's nothing wrong with having standards. And I do get questions from people saying, well, why do I need to have standards? If I can make this person be whatever I want, why then does it matter? Why do I have to have standards? Because it's better for you. That's why I say that. It's better for you and your well-being to have standards. We should all have standards. And if that person isn't meeting those standards, it's because you're not vibrating on the right level, and you're not bringing them to you in that way. So you need to change that. Decide that you're number one, decide that you do have standards, and if somebody is messing you about coming in and out of your life, then you decide that you are not going to allow that to happen. And the way you don't allow that to happen is you take charge and you feel that you're not allowing that to happen. You don't feel in an angry way, you just feel that you are number one, you are a priority, and when they start making you a priority, you will make them a priority. But until that time, you will not. You will just make yourself a priority. And then what happens with that is your energy starts to change. And I know sometimes people don't want to hear this stuff because they want to just hear there's like a magic, potion, and or I can tell you something that will just make this happen overnight. But it doesn't happen like that, especially where people are concerned, because we get so attached to people, and we have to decide that we are going to feel better. So making yourself a priority and deciding that you're number one, immediately you start to put out a different energy, and it's an attractive energy. And this is what you need to work on. And actually, immediately, if you do decide to do this and you sit down and you think, yeah, I'm going to do this, you will immediately put that energy out. I have spoken to a person and had a few emails with them. I wasn't doing a full coaching session, but gave them this advice. And actually, they manifested that person in the same afternoon. But by then, they decided that they were going to do this, and they hadn't heard from them for like 8 months or so. It was a long time. But they decided that they were going to do this. And it was a guy doing it to attract his ex back. And I know that he won't mind me telling the story, and I'm not mentioning any names, but he made that decision. He liked the thought of putting himself first, and he decided, yeah, I'm going to do that. I really am going to do that. And then whatever happens, happens. So that was the mindset. He managed to get in fairly quickly because he'd never heard of doing this before, putting himself first. I mean, he heard of self-love and all of that, but this is slightly different. It's to do with self-love. And then he did. He manifested a text in the afternoon. Then by the evening, they were talking again. And, I'm not sure how they've gone from there, but he did get back to me and tell me that, which was amazing. So you can do this, but you have to be absolutely on board with this, knowing that you don't want to go on like this anymore, because this feeling is crap. You know, feeling like that is no good for you anyway. And I would say this in my relationship articles that I write that aren't in any way connected to the law of attraction. I would say that when you feel like this, you need to look at how you can stop feeling like this. Don't go on like it, wallowing in it, because you will just feel worse and worse and worse. And when you come to the realization that you can change this, it's amazing, and amazing things happen. So that's the first thing. Get yourself in that energy, give yourself that vibration of prioritizing yourself and knowing that you're important and you have standards and you do not accept any little scraps that are thrown your way. You know, proper communication will come when you are right, and at the moment you are not right. So just forget about communication at the moment, because if it comes, it ain't going to be good. So just forget about that. So that's the first thing that you can do. The second thing that you can do is just sit down briefly and only do this for 2 minutes and feel how you will feel if that person is in your life in the way that you want them to be in your life. Really get that feeling and try to enjoy that feeling. Don't try and force it. If you can't do it, go away and do it again when you're feeling better. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be, you know, you might sit down and not be able to do that because you're feeling so rubbish at the moment. But if you go away and try again, you will be able to. Do that for 2 minutes. Let it go. That's all you need to do. Don't keep going back to that. Just do that once. Let it go. So that should deal with your neediness and desperation feelings that you have at the moment. The thing is, when you decide that that one person is going, you want them to come to you to make you feel whole again, then one, that energy is bad. Two, it's not fair on them. It's not fair on anybody to have that responsibility. It's your responsibility to feel whole in yourself. Like I said, you can still want that person, but you don't need to be desperate for that person. The thing is, it's not the actual person, really. It's their energy that you are addicted to. You're addicted to the feeling that you get from that person. Now, if you had got to a point, sometimes people do get to a point with a person that they just can't let go and they try everything. And in the end, I would say to that person, stop. This person may not be for you, because that energy may not actually be good for you because you can't seem to let go of it. Try and get that feeling that you feel, or ask the universe or whatever you think this is to bring you somebody that gives you that same feeling and a similar energy, but without all that baggage. You know, if you, I'm only saying this, I'm not, you can manifest anybody, you really can, but if you've got stuck and you really have trying all of these different things to get out of it and you can't, maybe there's something about that person that just is never going to work with you. It's just a thought, and I'm not trying to sort of dampen your hopes or anything like that. And I'm not saying you have to do that, but sometimes, you know, the thing is, as soon as you do that, they will come to you. So it's a funny thing, isn't it? Okay, third party. The thing is, what you don't want to do is give any attention to the fact that a third party might come along, because I guarantee you, if you're giving it attention, it will happen. It just will. So you need to knock that on the head. Stop doing that, because again, that's an energy. You're putting out the energy and the fear of them finding somebody else to the universe, to quantum physics. What I believe this is quantum physics. It's like you're selecting that reality by giving attention to the third party. You are selecting a reality where they are with somebody else, and that's what you're doing. So if that's not a good enough reason to make you stop, then I don't know what is. So we need to look at stopping that. Thing is, once you've made yourself a priority and you know that you are a priority, the third party thing will start to fade naturally if you can get on board with the prioritizing yourself stuff. So it's difficult, isn't it, not to think about something and resisting it, and you know it persists if you resist. So it's best not to resist it. If it pops into your head, just don't engage with it. Don't give it any. The more you worry about it happening, the more chance it is to happen. So you need to counteract it. And you don't counteract it with saying, oh, this won't happen, because it will still happen then. I have made things happen by thinking it won't happen. It has happened because, or not wanting something to happen, it's still happened because the energy I'm giving out is of that thing. Whether you're saying you want it or you don't want it, that does not seem to make any difference whatsoever. So you need to just counteract it with feelings of you both being in love and being happy. That's how you counteract it, and you just don't give any attention to the third party thing. I don't want to now scare you to think, oh gosh, I thought about this, so it's probably going to happen. You just need to start counteracting it now with a powerful emotion, and the powerful emotion of you two together is what will counteract this. And it has to be powerful, because if you've put so much energy into thinking about the third party, you know, They might get together with somebody else for a while, but you need to carry on with what you're doing and doing it in the right way in order for that not to last. But don't worry, if they do get together with somebody else, try not to worry about it. Then don't give it attention thinking, oh, they must like them more than me and all of that. Just don't give it attention and just think it's temporary. It's only temporary. And just think, I've manifested that. How cool. I manifested that by thinking about that. That's how powerful this stuff is. So if I want that to stop, then I have to work on manifesting that, but not work too hard. This is the thing. It's a very fine line with this stuff. You can really go over the top with it and get yourself tied up in knots, and that's not what you want to do. This should all be free and easy. It should be flowing, and and that does take practice, and I have taken a lot of practice. Because I have a naturally addictive personality, so I do get addicted to things, or not so much now, but I still do get those feelings sometimes, and I have to knock those out. But you can do this. It is possible to do this, and once you start dealing with the neediness, then everything else will start falling into place naturally. Like I said, don't then get hung up if they do start seeing somebody else, because imagine that you've manifested it, so you can just as easily unmanifest it. Do you know what I mean? Just as easy manifest something else. So please don't worry about it. If you start getting hung up on stuff like that, you will do yourself no favours. And I've said to people in the past, sometimes it's easier when you don't know about this stuff, because when you don't know about this stuff, you don't have these preconceived ideas, and you don't have these, you don't put this pressure on yourself. You just accept things more readily because you just think that's the way it is. And then they change naturally because you haven't put all of this effort in. But when you know about the law of attraction, you feel like you have to work at stuff to make stuff happen, and you don't, because it won't happen when you work at it. Believe me, it won't. If I had kept working at my writing career the way that I was before, I probably still wouldn't be doing it now. It was only when I took my foot off the gas that it started to happen. Just let things happen, and went with the flow. And okay, I'm writing in a much different way than I thought I'd be writing, but I'm so happy doing it this way. But I've never thought about doing it this way, writing for other people and collaborating with people, which I will be doing soon. And writing my own fiction, and writing YA fiction, and writing law of attraction books. I never considered that, but it's amazing because I'm getting to combine that with my coaching and this, YouTube stuff that I love. So you need to take your foot off the pedal and just sit back a little bit. Get yourself to a point where you are prioritizing yourself, knowing that you are most important thing here, knowing that you can manifest anything you want. And like I say, with the third party thing, if you manifest them having a relationship with somebody else, try to see it in a positive light rather than a negative light. I know that's hard, but try to think, wow, I've done that. How powerful am I that I can do that? So what else can I do if I can do that? And just think of it as temporary. It's just your current reality, but it doesn't have to be your actual reality. You're in a chapter. You've gone from one chapter to another chapter. You're looking to get to the next chapter, but you just have to get through this bit to get you to the next chapter. Like I've said before, if you've been to my channel before, I believe this is quantum physics, and we are selecting the reality that we want, and we don't have to work that hard to select that reality. So once you have intended what you want, so get it straight in your head. What do you want from this? And write it down if you want to, if that helps. What do you want from this relationship? How do you want this relationship to work? Write it down, read it back to yourself so you get the feeling of it, then let that go. Stop giving attention to third party, and if it pops into your head, the fact of them finding somebody else, just let it be there. Don't fight with it, but don't engage with it. Don't start then thinking about it. And prioritizing yourself. I cannot tell you how amazing prioritizing yourself is in all respects, and particularly with a specific person. When you put yourself first, you're giving out a completely different energy, and that energy is so attractive. It is. I'm not in a big-headed way, just to say, I am important, I have standards, and this is what I will accept. Don't say this is what I won't accept, just say this is what I want, because that meets my standards, and I have those standards, and I'm cool with that, and why shouldn't I have standards? Put yourself first, it will all fall into place. It really, really will. That doesn't mean put yourself first and don't do things for other people, because doing things for other people is actually great, because that gives you a great feeling, and that's good vibrational energy when you do things for other people. It's good for them, it's good for you. So I'm not saying this in a selfish way, I'm just saying to decide that you have standards, you are a priority, and when that person meets your standards, I know this sounds a bit like, ooh, I have standards and all of that. I know, this might sound a bit, like a bit like you're being a bit up yourself. I have standards, but you're not. You do have standards, really, don't you? You're just not meeting your own standards at the moment. You're just filling your life with thoughts of this person, how this person is going to make you feel amazing because they're so cool, they're so great. You must be thinking that, even if you're not outright thinking how great they are. There's nothing wrong with thinking somebody is a great person and you want them in your life, but when you put them on a pedestal, you are saying that they're better than you and that you have to meet their standards. And that is key actually here. You do not have to meet anybody's standards. You don't. It's all about you. This is your reality. You set your standards for yourself, and then when somebody starts prioritizing you, you start prioritizing them. That's absolutely fine then, but you have to get to that point. So you have to get yourself right. Now, if you get to the end of this video and you're still struggling, thinking, I don't know if I can do this, then email me. Please go to my website, select general inquiry from the drop down, talk to me, and I will give you some bespoke advice, a bit of personal advice. I'm more than happy to do that, send a couple of emails back to you. It's absolutely fine. I try to check my emails every other day, and I don't get through answering them all in that time, but I do. I will know it's there. And if you don't get a reply, please do message me via my Facebook page, because it might just be that it's gone into spam, but I get back to everybody. At some point, I do get back to everyone. So I'm more than happy to help you a little bit further on a personal level. So anyway, I hope this was useful to you. And like I said, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, then I would love for you to do that and hit the notification bell so you know when my next videos come up. I don't like to post huge numbers of videos because then it just gets repetitive and I'm going over the same stuff over and over. So what I really try to do is one or two videos a week. I think 2 videos a week is fine, but you can get sick of me if I'm posting every single day, and I don't do that. And like I say, I'll just be going over the same content. So again, I'm happy for recommendations, for requests. I think I've got another 4 to get through, which I will hopefully get through as this lockdown period continues and I get more time to film. But I'm more than happy for you to keep giving me your suggestions. That's absolutely fine, providing it fits in with this channel and fits in with the way that I see things working here. I know I get a lot of requests for a specific person manifestation. This channel is going very much that way at the moment, and I was determined that I wasn't going to do that, but it's fine, it's cool. I'm helping people, and that's what this is all about, really. So general law of attraction suggestions, great. Specific person, absolutely fine. Get your ex back, all of that stuff. And if you haven't bought my book, then you might find that useful too. Get back with your ex, and I will put a link to that down below. I'm going to go outside now and have a nice cup of coffee outside because it's about 22 degrees here, and Bath is absolutely beautiful. And yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that.